Humans are addicted to the American dream. Rags to riches, support for the underdog. Throughout history, people have been captivated by the unlikely narrative of the little guy making it big. A 2008 article from the University of Richmond says, quote, "These heroic accomplishments of underdogs may serve as an inspiration as well as a guide for socially sanctioned behaviors. They may also provide hope to the masses who aspire to successfully overcome the obstacles present in their own lives." The fairy tale of the underdog is deeply loved, and politicians are not naive to this. Buddy Cianci, former mayor of Providence, is the embodiment of a politician who created their image after that of the underdog. Buddy focused his efforts on relating to the hard-working lower-class citizens of Providence. He himself grew up in the city and campaigned for mayor by convincing voters that he was the best candidate to represent the masses.
How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? This is a great day down here. Beautiful. Hey, Gail, how are you? How are you?
Buddy called himself the anti-corruption candidate. Local news articles and campaign ads made him appear as a normal guy, someone untouched and unfazed by political games. He ran as a Republican, but eventually Democrats became supporting him as well thanks to his charismatic personality. Buddy was elected mayor in 1974 and focused his efforts into fixing the broken city. Crumbling infrastructure was rebuilt, tourist attractions were added, and the whole city was painted and primed to look as good as new.
We did the zoo, built the mall, moved the rivers. This city was one of the 5 best cities to live in, according to Money Magazine. It was one of the 5 Renaissance cities, according to USA Today.
To the rest of the world, Providence was getting a makeover. Unfortunately, however, it was all aesthetic. The New England mob, unhealthy business ties, and the overall issues of corruption still plagued the city, and Buddy was part of it all. He crafted the city like he crafted his own campaign image, attractive on the outside, but still secretly corrupt within. During Buddy's time in office, many suspicious events took place. One example is the garbage strike that occurred after Buddy decided to cut the number of city garbage disposal employees. Garbage men stopped going to work and trash started piling up on the city streets, but Buddy was unwilling to compromise.
Number 1, strikers will not be paid for the days they were out. Number 2, no reprisals against workers who did work. Number 3, the garbage men are fired, and they will not be rehired by the city.
He even directed armed police officers to ride around in the new garbage trucks to scare away any further protesting. Some even speculate that instead of registered police officers, many of the men wielding guns in these garbage trucks were actually members of the infamous New England mob. The local news condoned and humored Buddy's strange and aggressive governing techniques. One newspaper wrote that despite other shortcomings in Buddy's career, he was still able to rise to the occasion during the garbage strike. Buddy stayed as mayor for 10 years, during which many more odd occurrences and governing decisions took place. In 1984, a scandal broke that should have destroyed Buddy's political career for good. Buddy was accused of assaulting Raymond DeLeo, a contractor that Buddy believed was having romantic interactions with his estranged wife. He was charged with 2 counts of extortion, kidnapping, assault with a dangerous weapon, and conspiracy to kidnap. No one could ignore the severity of these accusations, and Buddy was soon forced to resign. In 1991, Buddy re-ran for office under the campaign slogan, "He never stopped caring for Providence." It didn't take long for the assault scandal to die down and for Buddy to rebuild his image once again. He won the local election and took back his place as mayor of Providence for another 11 years. Buddy used the press strategically during his years out of office. From 1984 to 1991, Buddy got a job working at the local radio station WHJJ as a talk show host. He stayed in the city, talked about the city, and played up his role of representative of the people. By the time he was re-elected, Buddy's perceived image had a greater hold on voters than his past scandals. For the second time in his career, Buddy won his seat as mayor by playing into the role of the underdog.
We've got his chief of staff, his top aide, taking $1,000 in a bribe at the FBI, taping it, and he didn't look like a virgin.
Operation Plunderdome took way when Buddy was indicted on federal criminal charges for racketeering, conspiracy, extortion, witness tampering, and mail fraud. He went to a federal prison for 5 years, and many other Providence government officials followed. Buddy's corrupt political career echoes that of many past United States presidents, including Richard Nixon and his fall after Watergate. Despite all of this, the people of Providence still loved Buddy and continued to support him all the way to the end of his life in 2016. At age 55, even after stories of corruption were beginning to reveal themselves, Buddy was named man most Rhode Island women would like to date. Time and time again, politicians have consciously built their image into one that will attract working class people. Buddy is just one of many who use the underdog narrative to captivate journalists to write about them. This press coverage helped create these people's images and further their political careers. Theodore Roosevelt grew up in a wealthy urban environment, but during his presidential campaign, he advertised himself as a rugged outdoorsman. Donald Trump could not be more different than his core supporters, but he became the honest, unapologetic American voice for conservatives who felt alienated by politics. Like Buddy, Trump's scandals don't hurt him, but instead perpetuate his role as an underdog.
How you doing? That's the prettiest sight I've seen. I only see demonstrations here, you know, and riots and things. And it's great. Good. I'll just give the bride a kiss.
Thank you.
Okay? Isn't that nice? Beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Where are you going on your honeymoon?
St. Martin.
Oh, nice.
In the end, transparency is not always as clear as it seems.